Hello and welcome to Movers and Shakers, brought to you by the Simon Akers Group. Today, Tobias Waltham is joined by Andrea Hillier from Blum, a true industry expert with nearly 30 years of experience. They talk about Andrea's journey, Blum's approach to innovation and inclusive design, as well as the importance of apprenticeships, diversity, and hands-on training in today's digital world. Let's dive in.
Hello everyone, Tobias Waltham here, Partnership Engagement Director at Simon Akers Group. Here you are at another Movers and Shakers podcast, and I'm joined today, which I'm really excited about, by the absolutely superb Andrea Hillier from Blum.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Wonderful. I'm really pleased to have you here on the Simon Akers sofa. Thank you for agreeing to meet with us and have a little conversation. We should probably start from the very beginning. I have known you for several years, mainly at industry events, and usually both of us are quaffing wine at the time. But how did you get into this industry? Where did it all begin for you?
Well, 28 years I've been in, and my whole industry experience is with Blum.
Oh wow! Oh really? Yeah. From literally beginning to now?
Yeah, I've always been in sales and management prior to that, and children were young, and I was looking for I only had one child at the time. I decided to take a little bit of a step back and do some part-time work and come away from management and give my child some more time. So gave up my job and started looking for a part-time job and come across Blum. So I worked there 28 years ago, started in the sales office, taking the calls and orders and speaking to all our key partners.
Wow, amazing. Talk me through your role now. What are you doing now? So you started off part-time back there, 28 years later, and you are?
I'm customer engagement lead.
Fantastic.
But I have had a few different roles over the years. So I was managing the sales team. We had a retail division for a while, so I managed the retail division, and we are now. So
fantastic. I have to say that's always impressed me about Blum is the fact that there's a lot of people that have been there for a long time. You really get a hold of people and don't let them go.
No. We try not to. So we have a high proportion of staff that have been there for quite some time. Yeah. Over 20 years, 25 years. Yeah, we've got very long.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And what do you, as customer engagement lead, what are you doing on a day-to-day basis?
It's working with our key partners. A big part of what we're doing currently is about the education around our product, and we have experience days. So we invite people to come and obviously learn all about the world of Blum. And for us, it's very much about educating them, not only about products, but about services and everything else that goes around the brand. Really making sure that and the focus is very much, mostly as much as possible, working with our key partners and their customers, so getting them trained and educated.
Okay. When you say sort of educate, is that around specifically the Blum products? Because when I hear Blum, I instantly think of things like inclusive living and the Blum journey. So is that education package about all of it, or is
all
it just?
All of it, yes. So we take you through a full journey. We take you through the history of our brand and how, from a very small company, started to where we are today, a global company, and how that works through the product history and the timeline, and how we improve and innovate and hopefully inspire everybody and improve in with our products, everything we do. But it's not actually, most people come on the tour and they'll realise that actually they come through, we're here for nearly a whole day, and we don't focus solely on product. Yeah. So a lot of it is a lot more about the services around that, how we can help support you to add more value to your sale, and think about those extra things like ergonomics, functional spaces, aging population, multi-generational living, and the way we live and the spaces we live in today, how we can get a better quality of living for the future, and improve our products along the way all the time to make sure that they fit in with what we know for the future.
Fantastic. I think that's. I think this industry is awash with buzzwords. Like any industry is. But Blum sort of strike me as a company that you very much put your money where your mouth is in terms of that inclusive living, those ergonomics, and the aging population.
Yes, that's not the only thing. I mean, we plough an awful lot of money back into research and development on everything, on every level. So the testing, watching people in homes, watching people, what they do, what the trends are, how we can improve everything that we do constantly, what the market needs. It's all important. So that money goes, a lot of that is ploughed back in. And for the future of the business, for the future of the people. Yeah. That's really important for us. So we do practice what we preach, I think.
Fantastic. Yeah, one of those buzzwords in this industry is diversity, which is something I'm incredibly passionate about. We've just had International Women's Day, so where does Blum stand on diversity in this industry?
We can say it's a buzzword at the moment, but I think it obviously. There is a positive shift, I agree, but I do feel that it's something that it's more than just a buzzword. It has to be. It is a requirement now. Yeah. And at Blum, we have continuous training and education. Everybody in the business has that. So that around diversity, it is quite important in all its different factors, I suppose. I think the important thing really is that we keep talking about it. Yeah. 100%. I think that it's important that we're not. It's different, isn't it? Generationally, our children don't see this the same way we do. I'm calling you old now.
No, that's fine. You can.
But I think for our generation, that change is quite big. Yeah. And I think even for myself, I'm constantly trying to. Even when I talk to my mum. Trying to educate her in a way about that's not the way, it is changing so much. So keep talking about it, but you have to also think more than just talking about it, be open to it. And I feel it's very important that you embed that into your culture. You start doing it now. We keep trying to make sure that's part of who we are. It's an ongoing process.
It really is. I completely agree. I've got this big thing that every day is International Men's Day. And especially
you've been
in this
that
industry.
For too long.
Especially in this industry, I think, and you're absolutely right. I think as an industry, we do just need to keep talking about it. And I agree. I do think there has been something of a shift. I've been in the industry 24 years now, so I'm just behind you, and I do think there has been a change, but I wonder how much of that change is just organic change and accidental, or because people are talking about it more now than I think they perhaps were 25 years ago.
Well, there's so much new legislation as well that we need to be aware of and keep up to date. Yeah. And we can't just keep ignoring it anymore. We need to make sure that we are. I think there's that embedding it into your culture is probably the most important thing, really.
Yeah. One of the big things that we are passionate about, and that here at Simon Acres Group, that we sort of bang the drum more about than we do anything else, even though it's the only thing that doesn't pay any bills in this building, is apprenticeships. Okay. Apprenticeships is something that we're incredibly passionate about. It's all we talk about, and I would love to find out you and Blum and apprenticeships at Blum.
Okay, well, a few years back, Blum UK did have an apprenticeship scheme. We took on four younger people.
Fantastic.
Out of the four, one remains with us. So that was quite successful, I would say. I mean, you know more about that numbers wise, but globally, we take that very seriously, apprenticeship. So we have on average approximately 560 applications for apprenticeships. Of those, we take on 90 a year.
Wow.
90 young people a year. They come from schools in Austria, especially. They come straight from school. They come for open days. They come to talk about it. So, and they have an ongoing education in Austria alongside their apprenticeships as well.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's really cool. We at the moment have 400 apprentices or trainees, as we would call them, throughout the business. Majority in Austria. We have America, because they manufacture there as well, Blum, Poland and Canada.
That's really, really impressive. That's really, really impressive.
It's very important for the future because, you know, we've got people who in the last few years have been retired and that have started with Blum on an apprenticeship.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So, and they've stayed, you know, I think a very high proportion of the apprentices stay, and they can go into different areas of the business, so they can choose different areas as they go along, and they are the future of Blum.
Well, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Is investing in the future of the industry and investing in the future of the company. It's key, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I think every manufacturer and distributor in this industry should be doing the same.
You want to create something that they really want to come and join. You know, they still have sport as part of their daily routines when they're on apprenticeships.
Oh, wow,
As I say,
okay.
they still have education as part of that. They have things like they get special bonuses if they don't smoke, so they're encouraging that health and well-being side. So they really do take it seriously. It's really an important part of our business.
That's amazing. That is really, really amazing. You said something there that I think is, I personally think that as an industry we don't do enough, which and I know I keep saying it, I say it to anyone who listens, but the KB industry is actually quite a sexy industry to work in. It's doors and hinges and cabinets and components and things like that. But there are some phenomenal companies, some very profitable, incredibly well-run business people in it. There's some phenomenal designers and some really, really sexy designs and things like that. And I think we need to make it exciting for people, like you said.
Absolutely. And the thing with that is, and that's that bringing people into the industry and where we see the future going. How do we make this seem like something that's, because like you obviously feel the same, I'm very passionate about, and it's difficult, people say to me sometimes, what do you do? And I say, well, may not sound very interesting, but you go and they go, hinges, drawers, what, they don't quite get it. But actually, for me, I love what I do, and I'm really passionate about, once we get on the tours and I'm able to talk about those things that really matter to me as a user of, we all use this.
Yeah.
I don't know whether the next generation, I think probably as well, things like the cost for them to own their own homes. Maybe, I was thinking about this earlier, maybe that's where that desire's not there either, because they may have to rent because it's so hard now to start buying your own home. Yeah. It's a struggle for young people now, and when you haven't got your own home, maybe you don't feel the same about what that furniture looks like in your house and whether you have a new kitchen or not. It doesn't become such an important thing for you if it's not yours. I don't know. I was just this morning thinking that. What if that's...
I'd never made that correlation at all. Absolutely. See, it's almost like could view as almost like a systemic problem actually from the very top.
And how do we get? It's a big topic about the training is education, but how do we get that generation to really see this as something quite exciting, sexy, if you want to use that word, get passionate about it, how it's something we should be thinking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Outside of just how do we train, how do we educate, how do we make this something that we feel it, how are they going to feel that there's something really cool about creating someone's dream kitchen or someone's dream bedroom,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You talked about, away from that, you talked about training and that training piece and that sort of that industry training piece. How does Blum contribute to that?
Well, we have our experience days, we have technical training, whole technical team, they do technical training all the time as well. I think, if you speak to designers, at the end of the day, if they believe in that product and they talk about it, we did some mystery shopping years and years ago, about 12 years ago. We went to various showrooms, blind, said we know nothing about it, where do we start? And a lot of it was very much aesthetic, see what you like the look of doors and, colours and here's a brochure. Yeah. But actually, on the small occasion, on the few people that actually took us and spoke to us about, someone said, can I show you this? It was appliances.
Okay.
And for me, that really showed that actually they were comfortable with that because they'd had the training.
Yeah.
And it was something they knew about, so they were able to talk to you about it and inspire you to want to have that. Yeah, and so I think that if we understand that actually when you have that training, or they buy into the product, or they felt it, they touched it, they get it themselves, they understand all the features and benefits. It's not, it looks lovely.
Yeah.
To me, you can have the most beautiful furniture. That's a given if you're going to the right people, but how you use it, how that's going to make your life easier, give you a better quality of living is far more important to start with. Yeah, so it's getting that ingrained in people, so they do need to know about that product and understand it. I think is quite important. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I suppose once you've learned it and you understand, that's when you can get passionate about it.
Exactly, and it's not necessarily about, and it's not at all really about those technical details of a product. That's important to the people who are fitting it, working with it.
Yeah.
But to the user, for their quality of living, they just want to know why that's going to make their life easier.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, that it's going to look beautiful, but that goes without saying.
Obviously, absolutely, honestly. Wonderful.
You know, I think you had asked before about do we think manufacturers are doing enough with training?
Yes.
And we've talked so much about this, haven't we? As an industry, it's never-ending cycle of conversations about what we're doing about training, what we're doing about education. You know, we lost the degree course, and I think there's a lot around that. Do we see it as it is a skilled role, but because there is no qualifications, it's not, maybe it's dumbed down a little bit. There isn't what the expertise that is in this industry now, and obviously transferring that. But I think because there are a lot of manufacturers that do offer training, and I think it is there. I think one of the biggest issues is getting people out to come for the training, and I think that. And it's totally understandable, actually. You know, if you're a small business and, you know, times aren't at the best and you don't want to miss out and you want to be there and you've got so much to do, you've got less staff maybe, taking time out is quite a big thing to do. But if we get the people out, and I think generally when you do, afterwards they do say to us, you know, that was worth my time taking out. We do really appreciate if people can take time out of there.
Right, assuming neither of us win the lottery this week, we will still be here in a few years' time. Yes. Where do you see the industry? Where do you want to see the industry?
Well, in my old-fashioned world, I'd like to see a shift back more to the high street. People really touching, feeling things. I think there's no substitute for that. That's my personal. And you know, we both live locally, and I mean there is a shopping centre quite near that actually is full the whole time. So there are people out there shopping. I do think though, in 10 years, it's, as we just said about everything else, it's changing. There's such shifts in the world and changing, and the next generation will be far more digitally, that will be their thing. It's maybe not so much for me, but I think we'll go that more, you know, digital first will be where they'll go. What I would really like to do is the piece that we talk a lot about at the moment, that as we go forward, we are thinking more about that, you know, the ageing process, the ageing in place, people living at home more, who want to stay in their homes for longer, for multi-generational living, accessibility, you know, all of that we start, because I don't see as much of that as a topic as thinking about that future-proofing, about functional, ergonomic side of creating furniture. I would like to see us really focusing a lot on that.
Do you know, I agree actually wholeheartedly. It was interesting what you said about people, going out and touching things, far more. I mean, I remember when I first got into this industry, I was told my first ever KBB show was to go up and start opening doors and looking at cabinets and how everything works and how everything sort of looks and smells, and then you sort of ingrained, you become passionate about it. And you even mentioned it earlier on as part of that training piece is teaching people about the product so they become passionate about it. And I completely agree. And it's funny, you talked again earlier on, it's all coming together, this whole conversation, it's all coming together about people being at home. Young people can't afford to buy houses, they can't even afford to rent at the moment, so there is going to be a population now of houses that are going to have extensions built onto them and will need much larger kitchens and things like that. So
and space, smaller living spaces, that's really important. So how we make sure we maximise the storage and the function within small spaces, that's a big topic for us. All of that is that does tie in, doesn't it? The thought that your kids may never leave in the end. They're important topics. And also then I'll be there, and who knows, I might have to try and live with my daughter or my son.
Absolutely.
So it's important that I don't think so. We use an analogy often when we're doing the tours, the synergy in the car industry. And that whole thing I very much feel about how it's that feeling, that by touching, feeling it, getting that emotional buy into something. So if you walked into a car showroom and you opened the car door, they don't put in a car, they wouldn't put the samples, they don't put sweet wrappers and a bit of chamois in them. They don't. It's pristine and it's that. And because they understand that they want that to be perfect, if someone's going to sit in that car and feel it and want to buy it, and then they test drive the car and they test drive the best car, they don't test drive the base model. So what do? Then they buy into all those added extras. So that's that selling them without selling them, the added value and those extra features and why they would want them. So I think they're quite, I talk about that all the while, I think it's quite a thing that we need to, I would like to, I know digital's come in and the world was change, it really is changing a lot. But I think there's no substitute for actually physically touching and feeling product and, seeing why the benefits are there.
I call that going back to basics and going back to selling and inspiring people. I think the industry will get back there. I really, really do. I think because it needs to, and I think that whilst there is going to be a generational problem of people not being able to afford flats and houses and everything else, and that is, in the current economic climate, is inevitable. But we're not going to pull on that thread today, or we'll be here all night. But I do feel that it has to come to a point where that cycle ends, and even if it is a case of those young people staying at home and then looking after their parents, they will probably end up inheriting that home and then redoing the cycle again.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be nice not to have that race to the cost being the most important thing. We can't get away from profit, especially where we live in today. Cost is massively a factor, but there are, we talked earlier about something where people do have money. There are, and actually in that older demographic, that is where the money will be held. And so, thinking about offering them something that will give them that quality of living. If they're buying furniture today and they're in their 50s plus, then, for them to be comfortable with that and enjoy that and make their life easier. And if it's not, we don't educate and keep making sure that our customers, know about what our products do. But, like I said, ours isn't all about just the product. Ours is a lot more about how we can support you and the services around that to help you add that more value. And all our research and all our development is done there to help you as a customer.
Yeah, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So, I think, like you said, that digital side is coming. It's already here, but we have to create in our industry, keeping up to date with modern technologies and everything else, whilst at the same time, like I said, training and still providing a diverse and interesting service.
Yeah.
That's been really, really interesting. Thank you so much for all of that. So you've gone home, you've left Blum HQ over in Milton Keynes, and you've gone home. What do you do of an evening to relax? Like how do you relax in your spare time?
Cooking, love a bit of cooking.
Oh, okay.
I love to paint, not walls. But again, that's time. And I've got a grandchild now and a grandpup. So
oh, lovely.
That keeps me, yeah.
Keeps you busy and out of trouble. What kind of painting do you do?
This kind of.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. That's phenomenal.
I wouldn't call myself an artist in any way, but I enjoy it, and it's something.
Favourite. I know I said I wasn't going to ask favourites question, but what food do you love?
I think my favourite food would be maybe a bit Japanese, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Maybe along those lines more.
It's just so important that you find that balance sometimes, isn't it? Where you just can I know it's really, really hard if your thing is into cooking and you work in the kitchen industry to completely shut off, but it's about trying to find that balance, isn't it?
It is, but having a really good kitchen that functions,
yes.
well designed, makes my life cooking in the kitchen much easier.
I absolutely bet it does. I think that's the perfect way to finish off. Andrea, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming in. I really, really do appreciate it. I think that's been really, really interesting. And you've made some really, really good points there. And actually, you've made me really actually think about that sort of systemic problem as well. So no, thank you so much for your time, and thank you everyone for listening. Thank you. Thank you everyone for listening and watching today. Please follow us at the Simon Akers Group LinkedIn page. Click the follow button. We've got a lot more movers and shakers and even some legends podcasts on the horizon that we're really, really excited to share with you. So please follow, and we'll keep you updated.